What's going on, traders? Welcome to a brand new year. And you know what a brand new year means, right? Well, we're ready to get after the profits. That's what that means. The P doesn't stand just only for TTP, right? Stands for profits also, baby. I'm ready to get after a new year here with you guys. And of course, we'll be getting after it. We'll be bringing on new traders this year. We'll be talking about strategy breakdown. We'll be bringing statistics. Guys, we got so much rolled up our sleeves. I'm super excited to start this new year and start this first day of the year trading with you guys. So let me know in the chat, what are you guys looking forward to in the year? And are you changing anything up this year? Are you looking at more, maybe some small caps, maybe some large caps? How are we looking at the January effect today? We'll talk all about it during the show. We'll get to the playbook. We got a lot to talk about here. Welcome back, of course, guys. TTP Live. We can get into the action. And as you guys can see, I'm a little bit on the road back and forth right now with my situation. But I got some Starbucks this morning. Maybe Starbucks can get a little bit of a lift today. We'll see what happens there. I really would love some Bros coffee, but they don't got Bros here down in Florida. But let's go ahead. Let's take a look at what's going on in the market today. We'll be watching and look around. We'll get to the playbook in just a little bit as we get some more traders in here. I know that we haven't been starting up at 8:30 for a little while here. So let's just get things going. Let's just take a look at some of the stocks that are moving and take a look at my winner this morning. Yes, already in the cash, baby. Let's get it started. Let's take a look here. All right, guys. So, of course, like always, we can take a look to see what else is out there, but excited to keep things going. And, of course, if you guys get your limited buying power, of course, check that one out. That's the one I've been going after. I had a tough day on Tuesday, but looking to bounce back today, guys. I have the small limited on this one. I took a little penny stock this morning for a little ride. It wasn't an insane ride, but not a bad one at all. You can see I actually bought into this and ended up getting out of it for a small kind of loss. And you can see there, I was down about $30. It was just not making the move. And that was ORIS. So I was watching it kind of build up and I was looking for a continuation, trying to get it to push. And then finally it does do the breakout, right? And then when it does do that breakout, I go ahead and I buy on the pullback and I bought all the way up there to 294. And then sold it on the breakout through the $3. I think this could still get back to 3. I'm going to keep watch on this one, guys. I tried not to get greedy on this one, and I'm glad because it came back down, and I would have got stopped out on that position. So glad I was able to take at least just a quick gain. Didn't get picky with trying to get 300 or maybe 600 on this trade. Just took a nice little 216 to start the day. All right, we'll see what else is going on, but let's go to the overall market. Let's take a look at that action as we're getting a little bounce this morning. And of course, we'll talk a little bit more about the January effect coming up. I can bring up a chart so that we can take a look at that and kind of take a look at why the January effect even exists, right? We'll talk a little bit more about it right here. Like always, guys, smash the like. It's going to be a great day here. And if you guys have any stock questions, that's what I want to ask more and more about, guys. So if you guys have questions or you guys want to learn something or take a look into something else, right? Well, let me know, guys, because I'm here to help you guys out also, right? So, of course, today we're going to be talking more and more about, of course, the January effect, right? And what goes on with that, right? So stick around, guys. We got a lot more to talk about here today. Excited to get into the action. And we'll take a look at some of the major leading stocks right now, right? And I also want to keep an eye out on the stocks that are beaten down, right? And that's another thing to think about, right? Because I think that a lot of traders think about, they just focus on what? They focus on the small caps. But another thing that goes on during this area is you're going to start seeing some of the stocks that were maybe beaten down start to maybe get a little bit of a lift. So we got to keep an eye out on that. But let's describe a little bit more about the January effect. We'll talk a little bit more about that coming up. And I can even show you guys an image on what happens here and why the small caps outperform. Another way that we can keep an eye out on what's going on in the small cap is just looking at the IWM. So the IWM is definitely a play that I'd watch today, right? Another thing that helps us here is that we've been going sideways for a little while now. So any strength, let's say above the 226 is definitely going to look like a breakout, right? So we have that to watch here. We look for a nice little break towards the 225s and then look to see if the strength can continue in the IWM. And we're seeing some names right now, some smaller names already getting a lift. Rigetti getting a little bit of a push there. And of course, that's a $16 name, but there's some small cap names still pushing. Unity getting a little push this morning. Of course, this is on the heels, of course, some roaring kitty action. We'll see what happens there. Unity up there to 25.75. But what I like about it is I was already watching this trade to hold the retracement around the 61.8. It held that retracement perfectly. Now we're going back up there towards 25. Looking to see if maybe this could get a run to 29. And just to give you a little sneak peek, that's part of our playbook. But now we got enough traders kind of huffing in. Let's take a look a little bit more at the playbook. We'll get to the sunrise report, and then we can talk a little bit more about individual names. Let's kick things off today. Let's take a look at the playbook. All right, guys, so we'll talk a little bit about the playbook here. We'll take a look at some different stocks. First one I want to talk to you guys about is just taking a look at the financial sector itself. Of course, we can do this by just looking at the XLF. And the XLF, of course, is just your financials, right? Overall, right? And what had happened, right? Well, let's just take a perspective here. And I'm going to zoom out, right? Just to kind of show you guys this. And on the tendencies, you can see how this thing has a tendency of pulling back, catching some support, and going back to the resistance. Right now, we're near that support. We filled this kind of gap zone. And where was this gap? This was off of the Trump presidency rally, right? And so now I'm starting to take a look at this and thinking, will we get some renewed strength under the Trump administration, right? With deregulation and economic focus in the spotlight. JPM is one that I'll be taking a look at here to see if it's looked to poise the run here, potentially holding its 9 EMA, which is that light blue line, and then starting to make the push back towards, let's say, potentially 250. And take a look how that XLF and JPM are very similar. The charts look almost identical. That tells me something. Of course, JPM the leader here, and let's see if it starts to take the lead. And like I mentioned, it's the financials overall. So you can take a look at different names. Goldman Sachs, Morgan Stanley, even SoFi could continue pushing, but I'm more looking at the bigger banks, right? Taking a look at like Bank of America. Even the bank that I don't like, Citi, could be having a good day today, right? So I'm not going to be fighting these right now, of course, as they could get a nice little push. Another thing to think about is interest rates and how that's affecting the outlook of the banks. Of course, we've already talked a little bit about it, but let's take a look at it. Unity Software really kind of getting loaded up. And what do you see at the bottom here, right? Well, you see a lot of volume come in lately, and that's a good sign. That shows that we've actually really turned from this kind of $18 price point. And this was probably the last time that we'll see 18, at least for right now, unless something really bad happens in Unity. And I think that we need to start looking to see if the crypto, the underlying asset behind Unity, of course, starts to really get the move. Now, today, of course, is getting a nice gap up, which could hint at recovery, right? It has support around the 23 and provides a solid base for the move now to move to 29. We'll see if we can get there. We're right now around even 26.50s. So we're not too far from that. We'll see if we get above another $3 and hit towards the resistance. Another area where I'll be watching to see starts to break down now is take a look at the XRT and looking into retail. Why retail could start to break down is because at the end of the day, the holiday exuberance is starting to die down, right? Now you're going to start to see some traders take a look at this for the short side approach. And for some stocks, it might have just gone up because of the holidays and now can start to take a hit. So we can take a look at that. One name that I'll be looking at, and I've shorted it before and made some really good swing money, is Macy's. So Macy's, of course, made it back here, but to me, it started to run into some resistance area. The resistance area is closer towards the 18s, and I'm going to actually kind of knock some of these in between because the truth is, they don't really matter as much, right? I would say that this level matters a little bit here. This like kind of 1735 right now. I'd be watching that because I feel like that 1810 is just kind of like that overblown move to the upside. And it kind of just filled the gap right into that other trade where you can see that it rejected it the very next day. So now I'd be looking to see if you could start to break the downside trend, right? So if you could break this and start to head down into like the 1650s and the 16, this is going to be looking prime time for maybe a red bar approach, which would be that low of 15. I don't feel too positive about Macy's into 2025 because they even said it themselves. They want to create smaller stores. They're just looking to stick around, I feel like. I feel like the writing's on the wall for majority of these big box retailers because the truth is they just have so much to compete with e-commerce nowadays that, hey, unless you have the insane brands that are just going to keep customers coming back to you, I don't think you can make it here. But of course, I'll keep watching a name that I did like A&F, right? Will this break out above the 160? It could. It still could. That's why I'm not betting against Abercrombie. But if Abercrombie starts to take a move to 130, that's also telling sign that even a good name, a name that's favored here, is starting to see the leak. So be careful out there. That's one thing that I'll watch. Ulta is another one, right? Ulta started to move the move. I was wondering if it would go up there and fill the gap. I created this on November 8th. It got close to it, guys. It got all the way up there towards 446. Now starting to pull back. We'll see what happens there on Ulta. Elf is the same example. Another kind of good stock that started to get the bounce. Can this one hold on? Or will it start to get the next push? Of course, this one was a loser in kind of 2024. So maybe this one starts to become a winner, right? So just keep your eyes on it. This one, of course, cheaper makeup. So there's a little bit of a mix in retail there, but I'd keep an eye on it because I feel like a lot of traders were watching these for the holidays. And let's see if they go heading for the doors now. All right, catching up with the chat. What's going on out there? It's good to see you guys. What's up? What's up? Roasty Bucks Coffee, sadly not publicly traded. Oh, that's actually sounds pretty good, man. Yeah, man. I mean, I wish I could get bros here. I need to open a bros in Florida, but the problem is that you can't just open bros. You got to like work for them for like 5 years and be a manager and all that. I don't know if I want to do that. I've already done that game. I've done the manager game. I used to manage 7-Elevens. So if you guys didn't know that about Money Mitch, well, you learn something new every day. Let's keep it going, traders. What's going on out there? You guys throw up some watch lists if you guys are looking at some trading action. I'm looking around for my loyal listeners. Where you guys at, guys? Wake up, wake up. Knock, knock. Wake up out there. I know it's a weird day today, right, guys, with that day in between. I mean, I know you guys are probably like me, like, what's going on today? Is it Monday? No, it's Thursday, guys. It's Thursday. And then we'll be seeing what happens, right? Next week, Thursday, we do have off also, as we'll be doing a little bit of mourning for Jimmy Carter. Still remember I did like a big project in like I think in the 4th or 5th grade on Jimmy Carter. Learned a lot about him. So we'll see what happens. The president that was like not like he wasn't like no one was really rooting for him at first, and then they all rooted for him. That's good to see though. Hopefully, same happens this year, right? Everybody happy out there. What's going on? There we go. Now I see you guys. Wake up, wake up. It's good to see you. What's going on out there? What is your bubble indicator on the screen? All right, so the outside bands here, these outside bands are the Bollinger Bands, right? Just some standard Bollinger Bands, right? And that's that orange line that you're seeing there. And in between the shaded area, that's between the Bollinger Bands. So those are going to tell us when prices are at extreme points, right? This uses mathematical standard deviation, right? So those bands are 2 standard deviations away from the price. Essentially, it gives us a way of looking at stocks like it's okay that they go outside of the Bollinger Bands, but on tendencies, prices will come back to the inside of these Bollinger Bands. So one way to think about it. I don't necessarily trade off of it, but use it as just something to watch for, right? Something to look for. I think that can really help traders catch moments when prices are like this, when they're just like, overextended. And you can kind of see that, hey, maybe it's time to take some profits because I am overextended. And if I come below the top end Bollinger Band, that could be my sign to get out while the getting's good, right? Things like that. Now that you could really use a Bollinger Band. Rigetti. Let's take a look at Rigetti. Of course, we'll be taking a look at those quantum stocks. We'll talk about the Sunrise report coming up in just a little bit. I'll wait till like 9 a.m. to see if we get some other traders in here. Let me pull up my scanners too, guys, because things are moving all around right now, and I just want to keep an eye out on what's going on out there, see if I can catch any of these fast movers. Here's another one. Here's an interesting one. Easy Go. Easy Go. It's a recreational vehicle stock, getting a little bit of a lift there right off the $1. All these little penny names doing pretty well today, guys. So keep your eyes on this. This got a nice spike there to 125, just came below it, came to 94 cents, didn't even break 90 cents, now just reclaimed $1. So we'll see if this one can get right back up there. It's rejecting it right now, but I definitely do see some volume moving in there. And there's another one, Rev B, right? Rev B Biotech just broke another move, another $1 type of stock, right? This one came from around the 60 cents. I actually like these. When they're around the 60s and 70 cents, they have a tendency of getting to that $1, then trying to do a little bit of a reload. You can see this was a nice reload back to 107, eventually back down towards that $1, right on the hammer. So now we'll look to see if it can take down the 130 area and go back towards the 144, 150s. Rev B, Revelation Biosciences, had a lot of volume, slowing down a little bit on the volume, but definitely got the move this morning. This is one that got a big move in the morning. MLGO, another one that's hot this morning. I don't like this stock at all. It has a tendency of doing this too often, where the pre-market action was good and then a quick fade towards the day. But we'll see what happens. I've traded this in the past, right? I've traded this all the way up there to like around $16. So we'll see if MLGO starts to get going. Another thing to think about it did do a 1-for-20 split. A lot of times that can create a spike like this and then all of a sudden back down. Why? Traders want out. All right, we'll see what else is out there. Let's keep a look. We'll go to Rigetti and some other action out there. Rigetti, let's take a look at the quantum names to see how those are performing. You can see this is kind of in a sideways period. It did pull back a little bit, but didn't break down by any means. I think as long as it holds at 13, you're still kind of hanging in there. I think you just got to wait to see if the momentum can come back to these names, right? And I think one of the names that we can look at here is like kind of QUBT going sideways also, right? So take a look to see if the leader can continue on. IonQ. Right, IonQ is right now on the 9 EMA, and it's going to be a big day for it. It could recover here and start working its way back to 47 and 49, which will leave big room for Rigetti, Quantum Company, QSI, all these to kind of make the move, right? As long as IonQ can stay strong, the rest of them I feel can stay strong. If IonQ puts in a big red day and it's back down to 35, that's when I think you really could see these start to break. All right. Will you be doing these weekly or dailies? I do these every single day. So stick around. And I talk about stocks all the time, right? So we trade all the time, guys. I am off on Fridays. I will let you guys know. That might shift later in the year. Right now, I'm kind of building on some education, trying to continue to build and get you guys all the information that you guys need to find success. So look forward to some big education moves in, of course, 2025. So looking forward to that. But yeah, we do this and we start up at 8:30 and no more Trader TV, right? So you guys will be able to catch me at 8:30 on Tuesday. Also, stick around, guys. It's going to be a great year right here. All right. Makes sense. Hey, it's good to see you out there, Corrine. And it's good to see some other names out there. And here's a nice watch list. Of course, Par always bringing in a really good watch list for us. Let's go take a look at some of these names. I always love taking a look at these because it's not names that I'm specifically watching, right? It's someone else. And when someone else tells me that, hey, take a look at this, I can always, as a trader, go in and see the chart, see what I see, right? Is it matching, right? Of course, Salesforce, one of the hottest stocks as of late, but sticking around, right? I mean, it had like up and down in November, up and down in December, but I think it's kind of just filling in this gap right here and trying to make its way back. I think that you got to watch for an attempted move back down to wash this out, right? It could come back for like a 332 move and then start to come back to 350. I think this is one of those that's just on a pullback, and I'd really wait to see it hold the 9 EMA on the daily to really start to see the trend come back. But if you want to jump the action and get in on it early, I think that's what you're really looking to see. A 345 recovery to 350 would be making this stock look really good on the daily. All right, we'll see what happens there on Salesforce. We'll see if it does make a down attempt at 332. It is trying to get the bounce. You can see that right now. The only question is, can it get enough juice? We'll find out. Disney, of course, had been pulling back. I'm wondering if it would go into the gap. I still think this has the opportunity of going in the gap. Unless it could start to close above the 9 EMA, I think you're still seeing this as a pullback. Let's take a look at what the MACD is telling us. The MACD, of course, is the moving average convergence divergence. And you have the light blue line that you're looking to see cross with that yellow line, right? Right here is when it crossed to the bearish side, right? And we haven't made it back there. But you can see we started to expand away. Now we're starting to tighten up a little bit closer to it. We can't watch that cross happen because that's easily a way that it goes right back up. So if you want to trade this to the upside, you're starting to look for that momentum. Back down would be a move where it rejects the 9 EMA, maybe even 114 today, and it's closing towards 109 or 110. We'll see what happens there in the house of mouse. Zim integrated shipping service. Well, this has all to do with the problems in the Middle East and ships getting attacked and things like that. So I think you can watch this. It's just how much really do we have, let's say, edge? It's interesting there. I don't think there's much. But there's other names to watch here too. You got S-Spoke. You can watch a couple of those. Zim, definitely the leader there, though, and getting the move. We'll see if it can continue to move there. DocuSign. Not really one that I like, but it's a beaten down name that's starting to come back, right? And it has a huge opportunity to come back. Now, the only question is, can it continue getting some love? Of course, it's trying to catch some support after the recent gap up. I think this is still trying to fill some of that gap. Probably could come down towards 86 first, but Docu starting to turn things around. Spotify looks also a little bit heavy. This looks a little bit more like a Head and Shoulders, and Spotify has been one of the big winners of 2024. So it kind of makes sense for this to not be that great in 2025, right? It's not always going to be that they just continue to beat. I think at some point, Spotify could probably fill this gap back to 422. All right, Carvana. Carvana is one that I'm keeping a very close eye because I want it to go up because that could help my CarMax really get out of this struggling area that it was in. We first started watching this around the 75 spot. It got all the way up there to 90, had good earnings, and then pulled back. I think this has to do with also Carvana's pullback. So that's the leader in the space. I need Carvana to start making its move to the upside if I want to see CarMax make the move to the upside. Right now, Carvana's on the lower end of the Bollinger Band and starting to break back down towards support. Where is some resistance prior that could start acting as support? So I'm looking at that area as being all the way down there towards 160 and 180s. So right now, it doesn't look good there for Carvana. I would love to see it get back there to 240 because I think KMX could get a lift too. We'll see what happens there in, of course, used autos. And used autos, I think, is a big place to look right now. Golf is up big. GOLF. That one was up this morning. It did get an upgrade. So if you're looking at that, that's a leisure play. And why are people looking at this is they try to jump on this a little bit early. They jump on it in January and February, look to really ride it up till March and April. I've seen this trade happen before. So I'd be keeping an eye on this. This is not a bad thing to kind of watch for to see if some seasonality goes into golf. Gold mentioned in the chat. What's up? Let's go. Let's take a look at that. Gold, GOLD. I love gold. We'll see if this gets the bounce. This has come down far enough now. We'll see if it gets the bounce now. I think you kind of can watch this. This is not a bad one. What I like is I like AU because if we are going to go into a trend, I like AU more than gold, GOLD. Why? Because AU has a tendency of being really trendy. So when gold is doing well, it kind of gets a big spike. And then when gold is doing bad, you can see here, just like it came down, it gets a little bit harder move to the downside than, let's say, a GOLD. So not a bad one to watch, Jamie. We'll see what happens there in gold. And in gold, you can also watch what? You can also watch Nucor, right? No. What's the stock? Why am I missing the ticker right now? No, it's NEM, Newmont. So Newmont is one that I'd be watching also. So that's another one to watch as a kind of a leader in this space to see if it starts to turn around if you're looking for gold to make the up move. How's silver doing? Let's take a look at AG really quickly. AG, you can see it's starting to pivot back. So maybe silver can start to get a little bit of a pivot, start to move back there through 6. Right now, still looking pretty weak there. But you got to keep your eyes for materials themselves. Overall, we're watching materials. They have pulled back significantly and now can start to bounce. And this is a big watch because a lot of people are looking at this to be a sign of inflation off of the Trump presidency. All right, we're getting more and more traders out there. Keep dropping tickers out there that you guys want to talk about. We'll keep taking a look out there. Rev B, of course, making moves out there. MLGO making a move right now. It looks like it's up there to 5 and making a spike there. Now through 5 there. We're getting a nice little spike on this one. Let's see if I can make a little quick little scalp here. All right, MLGO just looking to get 100 shares here. Let's see if I can get 100 shares right now. All right, now we're starting to come back down here into the 90s is where I'd like to get it. All right, I just put it out there. Oh, no, Phil, it jumped right quickly. You saw that, guys. It was at 91. I put out the 90s there. It got to 510 really quickly now. Now getting a little bit of a spike there. Now pulling back here. We'll see what happens. The spread is widening out here, so I'm cutting out right now. But look at that push there. 520s now. 523 going up there towards almost the 540s. That 490 buy would have been a nice one there. Would be up about $30 right now, looking for maybe an add on a pullback. We'll see if MLGO really gets going. 521 acting as resistance right now and running right into that resistance. We'll see if it starts to pull back, but definitely MLGO moving. Rev B now moving up there towards 118 and holding on. This one doesn't look too bad either. So a lot of these small cap stocks making moves today. CTCX, another one, another biotech making a move. A lot of these real penny names getting a nice little push today. This one getting up there towards 80 cents. Be careful with these though. They go up quick and they go down just as fast. All right, we'll see what other ones are making moves out there. So keep your eyes on some biotechs, of course, today. Those are going to be moving. Rev B to 117 right now. Carvana is market cycles 3 and is already at 4. Okay, par. I could see that. My biggest thing with Carvana is just kind of more thinking about just overall the used car environment. If I can understand that and how used cars might make more sense than new cars, that's what I'm looking at, par. But hey, I completely understand what you're looking at there, and you could be right on the hammer, man. We'll see what happens there in Carvana. Carvana is an interesting play. Let's just say that. AutoNation's another one that I'd look at in that space. Just talking longer term, I'd like this one too, right? It's this one. The thing about AutoNation, it doesn't make that much returns, but it's very consistent. All right, MLGO right back there towards that 490. So if I wanted to go for it, I still had that opportunity. I'm staying off of it now as it comes back into the 470s. So definitely didn't get that big breakout that he was probably looking for. Look at Tesla. So what is this? Is this the bear? Ooh, the bear Tesla taking off as Tesla deliveries come out and Tesla dumps to 386, guys. So we just got some Tesla deliveries that were expected to come in here. Let's take a look at what those came in at because it's not looking like it's reacting good off of these numbers. Let's get it here. Not seeing much there. I'm looking to see those numbers. Not much out there, guys. Not much out there. Tesla did try to put out some fluff before they put this out. They talked about superchargers in China, but they're taking a major beating there. Is Tesla. So TSLQ getting a nice little push there up to 29.50s from 26. So nice little squeeze there on Tesla. That's going to affect the Qs. Let's see if they go buying up something else to try to make it up for it. Nvidia was up early in the pre-market. Now it's starting to head back down. I don't know, man. We'll see what happens. AMD heading down. SMCI had some really bad news a couple days ago. So I don't know about the SMCI. If that's going to make it back, that's a scary looking stock for me. That's for sure. Tesla, man, taking a real beating right now. I talked about potentially this move going back to the 50 EMA. So that's what I would be looking at. That's going back down towards like 364. It's at 389. That could really hit some stocks. That could hit Ford. That could change GM's trend that was higher. I'd be looking to see GM on the short now. That's a nice looking trade today, especially if we get some downside action today. I'd be looking at that. That's not a bad little approach there. Of course, this is trying to get back above 53.75s, but with Tesla's numbers coming in, it don't look good. All right, looking to see where Tesla's numbers are. I'm not seeing any number out there just yet, but it definitely came out as they took a beating there. Looking around to see if we got something in Benzinga Pro, nothing in there. So we'll see when we get the numbers. If you guys see the Tesla numbers, let me know. All right, SMCI can halt for several days. Huge risk. I agree. Too much risk. Tesla under 400. I think the deliveries, there it is. Appreciate you, Greece. Here it is. Delivered 495,600 EVs in Q4, missing the expectations of 506.8. Thank you. Thank you. So decent miss there. And I think this has more to do with it's just the overvalued stock right now. So this is an opportunity for some buying to come back in at some point. I don't think they'll get bought up right now, but you can see it already bounced from 384 to 392. Big hit there. Big hit in Tesla today. Could come back above 400 and then get flushed again. We'll see what happens there. Looking around to see some mid-cap movers here, guys. What's up in the mid-cap? So I'm seeing Soundhound. I'm seeing Mara, Riot. Will we get some crypto move? I think the Riot and the miners could be watched today. We'll see what happens. What about Soundhound? Soundhound getting the lift there. Nice little spike after this has pulled back a good amount. This has pulled back a pretty decent amount. It could come right back up there to the 24s today. We'll see if it's able to catch some support around the 20s and start moving back. I think it's right in the middle and off the support. So I think right now you got to just keep a watch on it. Soundhound starting to get the move. We'll see if it can stay hot. AI overall is another way to kind of keep a watch on this. If this could get hot again, I'd maybe take a look at Sound. But right now, I'd be looking at that. It's more of a short. We'll see what happens. You've seen some Bitcoin moves out there. BTDR still hanging on there, 22.18. Maybe this one could get a little bit of a lift today. We'll see what happens there. MLGO just hanging out on that 499, 490s now. It did bounce a little bit off that 470s, coming back for the 490s here. Let's see if it gets a spike through 5 and kind of gives up here. We'll see what happens. I mean, potential is there. There was some volume that came in there, definitely early. Let's see if it can come back in and MLGO can get the lift. All right, looking around the scanners here. Let's see what else is making a move. And we'll go to the Sunrise Report and talk about some of that news out there. Right now, CTCX, another one that's making fast moves. All right, I think that's BYD selling a lot of cars. Yeah. I mean, BYD doesn't scare Tesla, but it could affect it. It could, but it really isn't that, man. I think it has more to do with the overall outlook that, I mean, car sales are going to be tough next year, guys. New car sales are going to be even more tough. And one thing that's certain is that car values are not going to come back down. They're not going to be $20,000 brand new vehicles anymore. Yes, I'll repeat that, guys. Before you used to be able to get a car, before you used to be able to get a Corolla for like $15,000, a brand spanking new one, right? I mean, of course, it was a basic model, but now go look and try to get that car now. Go look to try to see an SUV price. You will be blown away by the amount that they're asking for these vehicles. So that's the biggest concern, I think, for these auto manufacturers. It's margins, and margins run the show right now. The one thing that can change margins is technological advances, right? So if we get autonomous, that can change things, right? That's called a game changer. That changes the multiples and starts to affect the company different. Happy New Year, Jim. It's good to see you out there. Definitely good to see some other faces out there, some new faces in the chat, at least hanging out with us today. Say hello, guys. We're going to go over now to the Sunrise Report and talk some more news. This is where we give you what stocks are moving and why, of course, because that's what matters most. All right, the stock slipping, though, to end the 2024 is something we got to talk about to kick things off. Of course, the final days of 2024 brought a little bit of some downturn there, of course, but it was still a strong year for equities. We can't be upset, right? The S&P 500 gained 23%. That's an amazing gain, guys. The Dow rose 13%. The NASDAQ soared 29%. This was all thanks to, of course, AI's enthusiasm and the rate cuts that came. The Magnificent Seven, of course, led the charge, right? NVIDIA skyrocketing 171%. Apple climbing 30%. However, though, late year profit taking dragged the S&P 500 down for 4 consecutive sessions. Its first year-end streak decline since 1966. But one thing that we need to be thinking about, of course, is what happened to the Santa Claus rally. Well, it definitely got diminished a little bit here as this historical period sees a rise of 1.3% on average, ending higher 80% of the time since 1950. Well, let's see it. We still have the first 2 days of the new year, right? Well, it doesn't look good, guys. Of course, we had trading here, and we can just take a look to see if today and tomorrow will we get that nice little rally to kind of help off the Santa Claus rally come back. It'll be a little bit not expected, right? But I think that's what you got to be looking at in the market, right? When unexpected moves happen, that's when we can make the most, right? So let's go ahead. Let's take a look at some key movers out there. We'll take a look at NVIDIA first here, as NVIDIA is getting a little bounce back right now, and we'll see if it's able to hold on. This morning it was getting a little bounce. Can it hold on now? It is coming down here, and I think a lot of that is Tesla kind of affecting the Qs. The AI chip maker, of course, popped 1.7% to kick off new trading as Loop Capital called NVIDIA's current phase a nirvana moment, suggesting its 2024 rally could have staying power. I mean, how much more, guys? Come on. I mean, how much more can NVIDIA really go? I think that people forget that, companies can't just keep up with the year-to-year expectations like NVIDIA can. I mean, maybe it can do it for a year. Maybe it can do it for 2 years. Can it do it and just keep doing it? We'll have to wait and find out. China stocks were hot, and we'll see if those are hot. But right now, they're definitely seeing a weak morning, and that's what I was wondering, were they going to start to come back or not? Well, they're definitely seeing a hard hit as economic data weighed on sentiment, and Xpeng and JD.com both retreated more than 1%. Burn. Let's talk about Uber and Norwegian. Looks like there's some plays out there that are getting some lift this morning after being included in Goldman Sachs list for conviction buys for January. Uber already rising 1.4%, while Norwegian advanced 2.4%. Norwegian, man. Oh man, I'm still a little upset about this one. I will say that, guys. NCLH, guys. What will happen to this company? 26.25, guys. And I watched this thing break out above that 18. We were watching this back in June and July. I mean, it's crazy, guys. We updated this on July 14th. It broke out through that 22. And we were near historical pre-pandemic prices. That's where I really felt like this was a great investment. Really, we'll look back at Norwegian and be like, man, should have taken my shot on the investment side on this one as it keeps going. But that does give us momentum for today. Can this keep going? Can we get back to 27? I think a really good watch also is to see oil prices continue to come down. We'll see if it can push back through 27. All right, let's keep going. We can take a look as Apple facing pressure in China as they're coming in here and getting, of course, some stiff competition out there. Apple doing some discounts. So what happened here, guys, is it looks like their iPhone shipments dropped 6% year over year in Q3. So that's not good there. In response, Apple is offering discounts up to $68.50 on their top tier device ahead of the Chinese New Year, aiming to regain market share in this critical region. So if you're wondering what could bring Apple down and kind of ruin it, well, yeah, some China news, some negative iPhone news. So now that we're seeing Apple break to the downside, we're seeing Tesla break to the downside. We already know that NVIDIA hasn't been as strong. It is bouncing today, but hasn't been as strong. We're seeing Google just barely hanging on there. Amazon had recently been on a little bit of a retreat, and so had Microsoft. So now I start to draw a little bit more concerns for the market, and I'd be looking to see if we can have the up rally that we're all looking for the new year. So keep your eyes out there and keep watch on some of the smaller names, of course. That's what I'll be focusing as we talk a little bit more about the January effect. Let's talk a little bit more about that. Of course, the January effect is a well-documented phenomenon where stocks, particularly small caps, tend to rise in the first month of the year. This has historically been attributed to tax loss harvesting in December, followed by reinvestment in those stocks in January. So you also be looking at year-end bonuses being invested into the market. Who wouldn't want to invest their year-end bonus, right? It's not about buying a fancy toy, it's about investing it. Professional investors returning from holidays also is a big factor here. They took a couple of weeks off, spent some time with their family, and they're looking to implement new investment strategies and get to work for the new year. Why? Because if you can show returns early in the year, if you can make, let's say, 30%, 20%, 10% in January, isn't that going to make you look a lot better for the beginning of the year to get new clients? Yes, it definitely will. Some key historical statistics about January's market behavior. Since 1950, the S&P 500 has risen in January about 57% of the time. That's not too bad. That's close to 60, right? January's performance has often been considered a potential indicator for the year, known as what? The January barometer. So this is also something to keep watch on, as if we have a strong January, it could be a strong indicator for the year, right? We'll see what happens there. The first 5 trading days of January have historically provided some predictive value for the year's overall performance. So we'll see what happens there, right? All right, and one thing that I would be taking a look at too is small caps historically average 2.7% returns in January, while large caps only average 1.2% returns in January. So pretty much half of that, if not less than half, right? It is less than half there. The effect is strongest in the first 2 weeks of the month, and the phenomenon has been documented since at least 1942. So keep your eyes on that. We'll see what happens. Another thing is this is something that's widely known and a little bit less predictable and pronounced than in the past, but something that we can watch out for towards the open. Catching up with you guys in the chat. What's going on out there? AC, good morning to you guys out there. Who's ready to get back after it? It's a new year. New year, new me. Of course, there's going to be a bunch of those guys out there. But I'll tell you one thing. You can always think about the new year as a fresh start to your returns, a fresh start to your mentality, and how you are going to take it to the next level. So I think that we all need to be asking ourselves a couple of questions, right? And I think that this is very vital to the beginning of the year. What did you do well in 2024? What did you do not so well in 2024? What do you want to improve in 2025? What do you want to cut out of your life in 2025, right? All things to think about, right? And I think it's so important to write this down on a day like today. Maybe it's after you're done trading. Take a moment to understand what it is you want to make improvements on in your trading and what do you want to cut out of your trading. Because if you can do this, we make improvements, guys. Everyone makes mistakes. It's only those traders, and I'm talking to you out there right now, it's only those traders that take their time to focus on the mistake, not in a sense of I did something wrong, but how can I make an improvement and actually execute on that, make improvements that see the progress go forward to success. It has to be that kind of step-by-step process, because if we're not making improvements on our mistakes, then guess what? The mistakes just show right back up, right back up, right back up, right back up. So think about that. Write yourself today and write a journal to yourself, and maybe read that daily this year to keep on and focused on what you're really looking to attain. All right, let's keep going, guys. Let's take a look at what else is out there. It's good to see you guys out there. What's up? What's up? We're back, baby. It's good to see you guys out there, man. I love to see you guys. I see you guys are excited as I am for the day. Let's go ahead. Let's really kick things off. You guys know where you're at. It's TTP. Let's get this show started, man. I want to kick things off. I want to go trading. Let's go see what we can come up with today. Hugo wants 200, baby. You ready to get back to the trading action?
You aim, you shoot, and make money.
It's going to be a great day. You guys know where you're at. What up out there, traders? And yes, my friend, you said it best here. Grease said, what? Damn, I got to write a journal? Yes, a trading journal, though. Something to get your mind focused, right? Because one of the things that we can do as traders is, even the best traders, right? We make a mistake on the day. We know what we did wrong, but then the next day we don't think about that. We don't get focused, right? Writing down, let's say, hey, today's tip for myself, focus on this and this. Then that way, the next day you come in, you go and you read that, right? And you say, hey, yesterday I made these mistakes and I want to focus on this today. Well, that can really, really play an impact on giving you that edge on your focus, on your psychological focus, to really push forward. All right, guys, let's go ahead. Today, life gives us the opportunity to start over. Agree. And I think that that's exactly what you need to be thinking about it as, but in the right mindset, the right processed approach. And sometimes that takes you actually writing things down. It's not just up here, guys. Write it down. Have it on paper. If you need to, put Post-its. I used to have, I don't have them as much because I let you guys see my screens now, right? But I used to have Post-its all over this bottom line. Post-its all over with little quotes to keep me honest to the way that I want to trade. All right, let's get to the market, guys. It's 9:23. We're ready to go here, ready to rock and roll. Of course, I got volume and money to spend in the small caps. So if you guys see any of those names move, let me know. SKK, another one that's moving just now, just got to lift off this 119. So many of these small ones moving today. Let's take a look at the leading stocks in the morning right now. I'm just going to go through some of these. CTCX, definitely the top mover right now, in the 89 cents. This started all the way in the 30 cents, guys. Crazy move here. I'll show you guys that. That's CTCX. We'll see if that one can keep going, but an absolute monster move there. And that one could also be a short a little bit later, but that looks to me more like a day two type of short. I wouldn't be focused so much on that right now, but I'll be watching to see if it can break into the $1 range. Rev B is another one, right? Rev B, of course, that did get above $1. We'll see if it can hold $1 and maybe continue to run there. Rev B back above 120s will be an interesting move there. AEI now starting to get a little bit of a lift. This is a real estate company, so we'll see what happens there. CTCX already giving me that alert for that $1 run. We'll see if it actually makes the run or not. AEI, smaller name. Not much volume I'm seeing in this. Let me see here. We got 18 million. It's not the worst. I'll take a look at it, but it needs to really start pumping towards like the 240s. All right, and we'll take a look at ORIS. That's another one that I was trading earlier. That's what I made money on. What I liked about ORIS is the hourly chart. I'll show you guys that on right now. You can see how it's holding the hourly like on the pullback. Could continue to move above the 3 or maybe moves back down to $2. It's kind of a little bit in the middle right now. This is ORIS. All right, guys, we'll see what happens with some other ones out there. Smashing it up out there. Breaking out the pad and pen. Yes, got to, man. Sometimes writing it down the old-fashioned way. Pen and paper and scribbles to the side and a couple scratch outs. But yeah, that's what it's all about, man. I remember I used to go through so many trading journals. I got to find some of my old ones, show you guys them so that you guys can see that I'm not just talking the game. I walk the game also. All right, let's keep going, traders. We'll see what's out there, guys. Smash the like. The market's coming faster than you know it. So if you're ready, let me know what's your top watch in the chat right now. What's your top play? And are you looking at this long or short? A lot of traders can find this name and maybe make a decision for themselves, right? That's the important part. But if you guys are seeing some trades, throw them out there. We're looking for some. All right, you guys out there on Twitter, what's going on out there on X, guys? You guys smash the like on the stream and comment a stock you're looking to trade. It's always good to see some comments on the Twitter stream. All right, or should I say X, the X stream. All right, I don't know why that just sounds pornographic, but we won't get into that action here. Pan W, one to watch. AVGO, right? Names like that, I'll be keeping an eye out. AVGO has been hot, man. And so is AMD. So keep watch on that, right? AMD didn't really go much on the prior day's action, but I'm watching it, guys. I think with AMD, I'm going to be looking for a little bit more of a rally first before I really jump into it. I think right now you're still seeing some accumulation. So a lot of people buying this name as it was a loser in 2024 and could be a winner in 2025. Also, Intel falls into that. You could take a look at that one. You could take a look at like a stock like Lamb Weston today, an interesting one. BIB, Biogen. This one I actually really like, guys. I think this one is like really kind of beaten down. The RSI has been destroyed and now could see a nice little bounce back. So let's see if healthcare overall sees a little bounce back. Moderna is in the very similar space where it's very beaten down and could see a little lift. All right, guys, 9:27. I want to get these sleeves rolled up. I want to get ready to go, guys. You guys out there, get ready to rock and roll. I'll be right back right before the bell, guys. I think I got 2 minutes here. Give me 2 seconds, guys. Quick little run. All right, traders, let's get after it, guys. We got about 1 minute here towards the open. Let's see what we can come up with right here, guys. Let's go. Let's go. Michelle, what's up out there? My top play would be shorting the NASDAQ today. I'm glad I found your channel. As a young female trader, thank you for all you do. Hey, looking forward to seeing more of you, Michelle, here. Hey, Let me know more about how you trade sometimes if you're looking at certain stocks. And I think I see you holding up. Is that your son or someone? I see the picture there. I need to look a little bit more. But definitely, we're a family here, and we're great to have you, Michelle. Looking forward to seeing more of you in the chat. And say hello to the other guys in the chat, too. They'll definitely help out. You'll see a lot of people talk some trades. And it's good to see a lot of traders out there finding the channel. We need to do more and more of this, guys. How we do this is you guys help us. Hit the share button. Share this with other traders that you may know, or maybe some people that are looking to get into trading. I try to do my best every single day to pay it forward for all you guys out there to continue learning and getting towards success, right? That's what we're here for. Let's go. Let's go. Markets open. Let's go trading, guys. All right, let's get after it. You guys know where you're at. Ding, ding, ding. And what time it is, guys? It's time. Let's go, guys. All right, guys, let's see what we can come up with today. I will definitely be looking to look around, guys. If you guys have anything you guys want to trade, anything that's moving, let me know. Warrants are moving up in the pre-market. Yeah, definitely. We'll see what happens with CleanSpark. Google. Long for a swing. I like it, Brian. We'll take a look at that one. Some quantum action, right? Right now, what am I seeing up? Let's go ahead. Let's take a look at that. I'm seeing Zscaler up. I'm seeing Amazon up. I'm seeing Tesla get a little bit of a hit to the downside. Of course, Tesla was moving this morning, got all the way up there towards 410 this morning, and now it's already down to 389. It got a little bounce there, already taking a hit right back down. AMAT getting a little bit of a lift there. AMD up a little bit now, 122.45 on that one. NVIDIA getting rebought up. That to me seems like institutional action right out the gates. The only question is it a trap? But definitely, is it strong here? Yes, it is. So it's definitely tradable today. The movement and action is there. So keep your eyes on that one, guys. I'm seeing Amazon up. I'm seeing Zscaler up a good amount. Zscaler tells me to look at maybe PanW bouncing back a little bit. So we'll see what happens on that action there. Yeah, let's keep going. My pit bull's a puppy. Oh my God, a pit bull. I love pit bulls. Oh man, I love dogs. My dogs are like right there, but I'll bring them into the show a little bit later. They're hanging out with me, but definitely got to have the fur babies. I always said you have to have fur babies before you actually have babies. I did that, and I don't regret that at all. I learned a lot. How to take care of my dogs first. All right, guys, we'll see what else is out there. Definitely smash the like. All right, seeing around out there, wondering what's going on. Let's see it. Let's get that action going here. PanW to the downside. I'm looking at the sectors out there. I'm seeing communications lead the action here. Basic materials behind that, of course. We can take a look to see if gold and silver are leading, and silver taking the lead there. Gold right behind that too. So I'm looking at that gold and silver at the top end. You guys were talking about some gold and silver plays just a little while ago. Take a look at AU with a little bit of a spike here towards 24s. Let's see if we can get a pullback to the VWAP, but this has a tendency of being strong right out the gates there. GOLD trying to get up there to 1583s. Maybe it gets to 16 today's, but definitely seeing that move. Silver getting a little bit of a move there is 569 on this one. Can this keep pushing here? Doesn't look too bad at all. Silver get a nice little push there to 1571 now. Let's see it, guys. All right, looking around out there, AEI giving me a little bit of an alert. If you guys see a smaller name moving, let me know. That one's gotten to 240s already, so definitely not bad action there. Looking around to see if this can continue to run, and looking for some other names out there. How's Unity doing? Unity's on a little bit of a pullback. I'm gonna pull up my scanners here, trying to get some more action here. Let's see what we can come up with. CTEX, of course. Let's take a look here on the last 5-minute action. CTEX up about 17%. AEI about 16. GTI, another one that's up in the $1 spot. That looks good and moving here. We'll take a look to see if there's any other action here that's getting the action. AU now towards 2409. Spies and Qs down, down, down she goes right now. We'll look to see if the lead continues. CTCX on the halt right now. APM getting going off the $3 spot there. That one doesn't look too bad. This one was hot earlier. Look to see if it can continue to run there. APM. I don't know if I like that one. ORIS is another one that I'm keeping an eye on. That one's gone straight down out the gates. That one could just be a fade right back down. NRXP getting a nice little lift there. So we found another biotech getting a nice little push. NRXP up there to 267. See if this thing can get all the way up there to 230s pull back at the VWAP. NVIDIA now pulling back to the VWAP. We'll see if it's able to hold VWAP or slightly underneath VWAP here. Qs, though, really weak here out the gates. Straight down action here from the market. Not looking good out the gates, guys. Definitely some downside action. Technology, financials red right now. I'm looking to see if financials can go green again. Healthcare green right now, and leading the upside action is communication. Energy also up too, guys. So, all right, NASDAQ looking good, shorting this option this morning. I'm up over 100 already. Get it. Let's go. It's all about that money. Gotta have the fur babies. 2 dogs. I got 2 dogs and a cat. Just to add one to the family, right? Money Mitch, thoughts on Apple? I can take a look there on Apple. The big thing with Apple is they came out with negative iPhone news, so that's really weighing in on Apple right now. You can see it from the price action. It's getting whacked right now. And also Tesla getting whacked is not helping things. When Tesla gets whacked, Apple gets whacked. It's very hard to hold things up, right? It's the majority of the Qs, and they start to take a beating. Microsoft down. That's not a good sign. Google down also. Amazon down. All the big boys. If you look at the big boys, they're getting hit. So the market wants to come back. It's going to have to lift a lot of the big boys from the ground. All right, I'm seeing what's up. PDD. The China trade, guys. There's something going on in the China trade, guys. I'm trying to trade BABA right now, and I think this is my nice first trade here. I like the setup here off the VWAP. Let's see if I can get some right now. All right, guys, just grabbed a little bit there, about 100 shares there, looking to see if this can really start to make the move back towards the 84.90s here. This is BABA. Some China names. From the action that I've been seeing out the gates, I'm looking to see if this can really get going today. But man, they've been trying to get things to at least look better. See if this can get the lift a little bit. I only got 100 shares here now. I'm starting to see a little lift off this 84.50s. Could make a push to like 85. That's what I kind of see here. All right, there's a little bit of a push here. I'm looking to go ahead and take a little bit of a shot here. I'm seeing QUBT, though. Those quantum names got wrecked. QUBT down to 1556 from 1680. So definitely a hard hit down there. BABA hanging in right now. I'm looking to see if it can make a little bit of a pullback. I'm going to the 5-minute here, looking to see if we get another 5-minute candle here in just about a minute and a half, minute 20. Let's see if this can go green here, and then it just starts to go for the 85 move. There it goes. That's a nice little first action. I'm adding on that, and I'll look for a little bit of a pullback to add a little bit more. But looking pretty good on this first action. I'm at the 58s, willing to add towards like the 40s, and looking for this to break towards the 85s. This is BABA. I'm seeing PDD up a decent amount. What else am I seeing up there? ETHA. What is this? Ethereum getting a little bit of a spike today. This got to 26.55 now. Could get another bounce there. Clean Spark coming back there today, guys. So I'm starting to see some names starting to come back. I like watching for some crypto names. I'm looking around out there. How's Gold, AU, just hanging out at that 24 spot. Could continue to push. GOLD almost 16 already. So that's looking pretty decent there. We'll look to see if that can continue. Some tech names really kind of getting the lift there. All right, take that money, guys. Take that money. We missed the short today on PDYN. Oh man, there she goes. That one really kind of frustrated me on when was it? On Monday, Tuesday. Oh man, I should have destroyed that stock, man. PDYN. Tesla is still down. We'll see if it can keep going. Baba pulled back a little bit to the 50s here, looking to see if it can push back towards the 84.60s. If not, I can just cut it. Seeing the Qs get a little bounce here, that makes me feel good because Baba's above the VWAP, looking good there. Now can make another run here. Now 55s here. I'm going to go for an ad here and go for the win. All right, there's the ad. Now I need to see it break above this 84.60s. Let's see if it can start to make the move now. Could cut it down back towards the 40s. Let's see if it starts to make the move. I got about 400 shares here. More than enough that I need. Now it just needs to start going in my direction here. Q still dragging a little bit here, looking for this to start making the move on Baba, and then starting to look to see if the Qs could come back to the VWAP is something that I'm looking at. We'll take a look at some of the small cap too. How's the IWM? The IWM is doing all right. Taking a look at what stock is leading there is very important today, guys. Seeing some other names moving out there that we haven't talked about. SCOR, CMBM, a lot of these penny names out there kind of getting that lift there. We'll see if it can continue to lift. Nova getting some lift there. MLDG here. Top Golf. This one's a good one because golf was going with a nice little push. So GOLF was getting a push there with some other names and causing some of this push. There's Baba now towards 84.67. Can it break towards the 84.80s and 85 is what I'm looking for. At this point, I'm break even. I just want to see if this can really take off here. Let's see if it can really do it. Now I just set a break even stop. Won't lose on this trade. Just looking for it to keep moving past the 84.70s towards the 85 spot here. Let's see if we get a quick little run. If it pulls back and cuts me out, hey, so be it. I just want to see if this can really start to push here. All right, now it's starting to pull back a little bit there, looking for the break above the 84.60s, 84.70s. Now it's pulling back towards that 84.60 spot. Let's see if it can start to really rise towards the 84.75 and the break towards the 85. There we go, 84.60s now on the offer, 84.70s on the offer. Now we're looking a lot better here. Let's see if they really want to take it through the 84.70s. They tapped it for a second. Now I'm looking for the take. There we go, 84.71 showing up there on the offer. Now we're looking a lot better. Now I can go ahead and leave break even here. Look to see if this can really get the run. $84.70s with 68 on the bid there. Let's see if they want to take it towards the 84.80s here. Top end of the Bollinger Band, and a break is what I'd like to see here. Let's see if I can get it. All right, leaving this trade alone. I'm going to go ahead and just leave it alone. Just let it work here. We'll see if it works out and gets that nice little push. I'm starting to see these miners making a move here, and I like these today. Even though the coin now is starting to push there, I'm trying to distinguish between if I want HUD, coin, or Clean Spark. I'm seeing these Ethereums really start to make a move also. This ETHU is the one that I've traded before. That one's getting a little bit of a bounce there. So maybe some Bitcoin name. BTDR getting a little bit of a spike right back up. So this is not looking too bad there. BNRG, $1.60 stock, getting a little lift off this 160. Big push there, guys. Baba now up there about $50, looking for a nice little push. But if it comes back, it could probably cut me out. I'm just looking for it to keep pushing, but it's not really getting the like a big breakout look. It's just starting to climb. Qualcomm doing pretty well. I heard that there was a kind of litigation that resolved in from ARM. So I'm looking to see what happens there. Micron getting back up there. What's up out there, guys? Do you trade the pool? Of course I do, Michelle. That's what you see on the bottom right. So this is TC 2000. This is another charting, but all this that you see on the right hand side, this is trade the pool. This is the trade the pool execution. And I am unlike many out there. I show you literally my filled orders. So there you get to see it. You get to see it all right here. And you'll see me bring the screen all the time. I'll do this a lot of the times where I'll detach my chart and kind of show you it from their charting. So you see it here. This is my stop loss. And now you see the push there towards the 84.70s. Now we're starting to get the push towards the 74s. Can we get the push towards the 85s here? That's what I'm pretty much looking for. A nice little push into the 85s would be a nice little profit take here. Now I'm going to go ahead and stop my stop loss because I'm the push up. I don't want it to think, hey, let's go back and scoop Mitch. Now we're getting that push there. 84.81s, looking for the breakout above there towards the 85s. Ready to go ahead and move the stop loss up into the green to secure some profits. This is what I haven't been doing enough of, guys. Securing profits, so vital, guys. So already starting to see that pull back here. Got to be careful for it to break back into the 60 spot here. So just watching it here, it might just take the smaller profits if it doesn't want to keep running. There's a nice little push towards the set 84, 82s there. Now we're starting to get the lift there. Let's see if we can get the push here. Through the 85s, I don't mind even just starting to raise the stop loss to like 84.90s and then just continuing to just grind it up there. There's 84.92s now, looking a lot better now. Now we're in the second here. I'm going to guarantee about $100. There's 84.96 there. Now looking for the break into the 85s. Let's see if we can get it here. Looking pretty good, about 140 on the cash here. Let's see if we can break it. If not, I'll just go ahead and take it here off the 84.82s, giving myself $97 there, guaranteed. No matter what, I'm going to get that 97. If we do get one more momentum push, I'm willing to take the profits towards the 85.40s here. Let's see if it takes the profits. Even 85 like 20s, I could take it, but I'm just giving myself a little room. Pretty much creating a ladder here that it can take me out. All right. I appreciate it, Michelle. And like always, you can definitely check it out and take a look at all our programs. We have these new limiteds that really give you that opportunity. Definitely take a look into it, Michelle. If you have any questions, please reach out to us or reach out to me. I'll definitely help you out. All right. We'll look to see if that can continue to move. You can see how that's pulling back right now, trying to get me here on the 82s. I could bring it back a little bit here, try to like get fancy with it a little bit, but I don't mind it. It's the first profit of the day. There you go. It pulled me back, got me out there. Took the money. That's fine. We took $92. We guaranteed some profits here. Now we could get back into the name and risk that money. That's where sometimes I let the money go back to break even, where I don't want to be doing that as often anymore. Taking the money and run, it's not a bad situation. The only thing that matters is making sure that we keep our risk to reward very much in check so that we continue to look at our results to see if we're like taking too quick profits, right? But in this case, it's a pullback, so there's nothing wrong with taking profits. All right, we'll see what happens. Can they keep going? I'm seeing MU make a little bit of a lift there. Marvell making a little bit of a lift. So those are names that are really hot right now. So I'd keep an eye out to see if those can push. Intel's another name that's been beaten down that could have some lift today. So not a bad name to watch to see if we can get the Qs to reverse back. Well, that's going to be one that I'd be watching on the top end of the action. Marvell, PDD getting a little bit of a lift. Of course, we've talked about that. Dollar Tree getting a lift. This is also a beaten down name that's getting a little bit of a push back, right? So if Dollar Tree is getting a push, Dollar General would be very similar. Look at the action. Push back to the upside. Beaten down names that are getting a little bit of a lift today. Why? Because they got sold off for tax loss in December, and now they're going and getting reimbursement in the investment gets put right back in because they take that tax loss and now they try to make that money back. Which one would you suggest? I mean, it really all depends on your trading style. Like, do you like to buy Tesla, right? Or something like that? Is it like higher price names, lower price names? But like always, you can take a look at our different packages. I'll take a second here. Let's see, what time is it? It's 9:49. Yeah, let's take a quick second here. I'll show you guys our different packages really quickly since you're asking about it. I don't mind taking a second for it. Let's take a second here. All right, here I have the website here, and I can show you the different kind of ones we have, right? So right now we have a couple of different ones that you can take a look at, right? You can take a look at our different limited edition ones. Those are the ones I would definitely recommend because what limited edition essentially means is we tried to help you guys essentially, right? And that we're trying to give you guys a little bit of of an advantage, right? Before it was 4,200 for the super buying power profit target, now only 3,150, right? The mini buying power was 1350 and the prior one was a little bit higher. I think it was like 17, right? So the key here is that these are pretty cheap, guys. This is only $97 for the smaller one. And then at the bigger one, you got the 300. Right? I would definitely recommend for you to get your feet wet to take a look at the mini buying power, which is a $97 one, which only gives you $20,000 in buying power, but it gives you an ability to potentially get a 70-30 split, which is amazing in the prop business, especially for such a cheap eval here. You got a daily pause allowance of 300, max loss of 900 on the whole account, right? You lose 900, you lose the account, but it's within a range that keeps traders safe, right? So essentially, you'd have to daily pause out 3 times in a row to lose the money that needed, right? So take a look at that, guys. Not bad packages that we have to offer. Back to the action. Let's go. Let's go. All right, Baba, right back down, guys. So I could just rebuy it here and risk the same amount of money if PDD is doing well, right? So PDD is now pulling back here, looking for that continuation back to 98.50s. But the real thing is the Qs are right on the VWAP here. They could reject and come right back down here. I'm looking to see if we start to get really hot. Instead of jumping too quickly, I'm just watching right now. I'm going over to my penny stock action here to see what's going on there. Rev B was one stock that we were looking at this morning. It's already back down below the 80 cents here. Let's see if it makes a move back to the up end here. Looking around NITO. NITO now getting a little bit of a spike here. This is a 44-cent stock here. We'll see if it really gets the spike there. That was some good volume that came in on this thing. So we'll see if it can get the move back through the 50s and starts going into the 60s. VSME, another one trying to get a little bit of a jump, but you see the VWAP on this one way too low. AKTX. AKTX just kind of halting all around. Doesn't look really sexy at all. AEI. Talked about that one earlier, not doing anything. Watt, not doing anything. A lot of these, I don't think they're not looking sexy right now. I'll tell you that much. SPCB, this one's looking a lot better, right? But this one's already gone, right? It's at $7.14. Was just at $6.25. Big lift there in Supercom. And this is Security Protection Services. Why would this move right now? We all know what happened throughout the weekend. Don't want to talk about it, but a lot of negative kind of how do we put it? Strategies that are going on right now. Some terrorist attacks, different attacks on people, but definitely seeing these stocks make a little bit of a lift right now is something telling. IVDA is another one, Security and Protection Services. So another thing you could look at to see is maybe some ammo stocks are kind of getting the lift there. I know that ammo used to be a stock there, but I'm looking in to see what's going on there. So that's security names there that we're making a lift there. IVDA. Let's see what I can find here. Security and Protection Services. So the top name would actually be an ALLE name. Don't know this one. Ally. MSA Securities. So seeing some security names definitely take a little bit of a lift there. ADT getting a little bit of a lift there. That's interesting. Brinks Security. We'll see what happens out there. Lamb Weston was one that I wanted to take a look at today. That's on the support right now. Could make a little bit of a lift there. Buy though, and Q's starting to come back there. So we are starting to climb a little bit. Nvidia back above VWAP, guys. That's a big sign right there. TSM taking the lead though. You're wondering what's making a big move today in tech? It's TSM. That is having a hell of a day. That tells me take a look at AMD, take a look at Nvidia, because those could be following along. ARM is also having a hell of a day. That could have been because of the lawsuit with Qualcomm and that action, but definitely seeing ARM big push today up there to 127.70. Unity holding it on the pullback now, back above the VWAP here. Mara getting a little bit of a lift there. I talked about it. Could we see these stocks start to make a push there? Definitely seeing some of these Bitcoin names really start to push. BitDeer up to almost $24 now. So if you're wondering what's moving, it seems like it's those crypto names right now. Let's see if they can continue to run. Riot right above, right there to the 11 spot there. CleanSpark not going as much. I will say that. That one's just not as fast. Morgan Stanley and Goldman Sachs. So starting to get the financials back up. JPM, guys, taking off, of course. This was one that was on my radar, looking to play this in the financials, and we're getting the move here. Now I gotta find names that I can go after here in the financials. Definitely seeing a nice action here on that. Glad I threw it out there. Now I just need to try to play the ride, right? So XLF making a nice little push. I'm looking for some pullback action to get in here. JPM up almost a full percent. So is Bank of America. Wells Fargo up over 1%. So I'm just looking to see if there's anything that's lagging enough for me to jump on it. And Morgan Stanley seems like that play here. Let's take a look at the hourly, 15-minute. Looks pretty good there. I like the hold there. And now a break here. Could go to 128. So just got to be understanding that the 126 is the potential turnaround. So about $1 to the downside could happen here. Let's see if we get a little bit of a pullback to the VWAP here around 126.60 and then the move to the upside. And I'm looking at the financials here. All right, I'm going to look for a pullback towards that 126.75s or look for a push above 127.12s. We'll see what happens there in Morgan Stanley. Unity trying to get the move. GUR now getting a little bit of a push there. And the GUR, of course, was down big on on Tuesday's action. I keep saying Friday. I understand why I'm saying it, but it's crazy. We'll see what happens here on GUR. It could come right back down. I mean, this thing's moving all over the place here. Gorilla Technology. Thing's been an absolute monster stock. We'll see if it starts to really break right back down. This looks like a little bit of a fade off of this level here, the 2114, but it's going to be a tough one. It's not as easy as it looks. Nitto getting a nice little push there. I talked about that one a little while ago, right? Could we get to 50 when we were at 40s? Could we get to 60s? Well, there it is. It's right there to 60. I don't know if it's going to be able to keep going, but definitely got a nice little push on the first action. All right, looking around to see what else I can get towards. Q's up big. Tesla got a pretty decent bounce. Tesla's still hanging out, though, right at the VWAP. That could still get flushed right back down, guys. It doesn't look too bad here for an opportunity here, but I'll keep an eye on it, guys. Looking for some small cap names, but not seeing much out there. CTCX came back down and right back into a hole on the upside of things. What's up with Sound? Sound's on the downside of things and really getting hit here. Could get hit some further. Yeah, this looks pretty weak here, guys. I'd look for a little bounce to 20, but see if I can get a bounce to 20 a little bit later with Sound. Sound looks pretty weak right there. Could get hit towards the 19s. We'll see what happens. I'm looking for a little bounce and then that fade. SPY looking a little weak here at the 590s. We'll see if it actually comes down, though. Apple overall is right at the VWAP there. Ooh, iRobot getting a little bit of a push there. Is this just a beaten down name trying to get out of the hole? Yeah, exactly that. Beaten down name trying to get out the hole. MLGO didn't do a single thing. All right, what's up out there, guys? Been trading crypto for a couple of years and trading regularly for about 6 months. I love challenges. Hey, take it, get after it. Let us know how it goes. We'll be here to support for sure. All right, what's going on out there? AVGO doing well? Yeah, definitely. Let's take a look here at my scanner, see what's showing up there. NVIDIA up 2% now. So NVIDIA doing really well. And of course, we saw TSM take off. So that's a good sign to see TSM stay strong. Now AMD now towards 123s. So definitely seeing AMD get a little bit stronger here. Let's see if the Qs reject here, though. It looks a little bit heavy here. Let's see if it starts to come back down a little bit. QUBT setting up here. We'll see if it gets faded here. This looks like a fade here. I'm willing to take a shot here in the smaller account to short this thing. Trying to get short QUBT there. Got a little bit there at the 1624s, but just going to keep it tight. I just went 100 shares. Nothing crazy here. Just going to risk like 17 and see if it goes back to the bottom. It's about 96 on the bottom end. So we'll see what happens with that trade. Nothing big, just a small little trade here. Tight. Let's see what happens. Kind of a feeler for the quantum space. IonQ could be another way that I could play this. I could play this on my other account and maybe go long on IonQ and kind of balance in between these. But looking to see what happens with the overall market here. Overall market trying to bounce there. AMD trying to get a little bit of a bounce, right? We could keep an eye out on some different names out there. MU has been hot. Let's see if that can continue. Intel was trying to hold on. QUBT now rejecting to the 1620s. We'll see if we start to really break down here, the 1622s, and if the market starts to let go a little bit here. Let's find out. I think you're right on the move here. Let's see it. Tesla's starting to fade back down. Willing to risk a little bit here with Tesla. Trying to get short some here. Tesla, not a crazy amount, just a little bit here, about 50 shares, and we'll see if we're able to get the shares short here. And no fill there, guys. It bounced a little bit there, but not enough there for me to hit it. It's down to the 384s. Looks pretty good there, but I'll be looking for a bounce and then the hit to come really in here. canceling out right now as this bounces. We'll see what happens here. I'm looking at the Qs and I'm seeing the Qs look pretty heavy, but they're not back at the VWAP here. So they're holding on to the 90 MA. That could actually create the upside action that's needed. I'm seeing Amazon and how it curled back. I mean, a lot of these look very similar to the Qs. Why? Because they needed to buy these back to get the market back here. Meta. Look at Meta take off here, guys. Meta on a takeoff, guys. QUBT just spiked there. So Meta spiking. A lot of stocks getting the spike there. Now we're getting the move here to the upside. Upside breakout is here, guys. Marvell looking like it wants to continue going there. We'll look to see some other names starting to make the move there. Micron getting the move there. Now starting to the 86.56. Looking a lot better here. Can they hold on? But definitely getting a nice little breakout here. How's NVIDIA doing here? Let's see it. NVIDIA to 138 there. Looking pretty well. Baba. How's the Baba? Back down to the 84.30s. Could go right back to where I sold it at. See what's going on in the market overall. I'm looking around out there. RCAT getting hit today, guys. That's a drone maker. It's around the 1242s, 1240s here. This looks like a short itself here. But the Qs and SPY are too strong for me to be thinking shorts right now. We'll see what happens with those, but definitely one to watch. MS giving me an alert there, guys. So MS there on the break to the upside, holding the move there. We'll see if it can hold it. JPM, I'm looking for a pullback in the financials. Pullback so I can jump on those. AVGO, can it get towards the 239 and start to lift there? Good morning, traders. What's up, turd? How we doing? Flush it. Not like saying, what's up, turd? I don't think I ever thought I'd say that sentence. What's up, turd? Oh, man. Leave it to YouTube to make you laugh on a screen name. Tesla is like alcohol, but always what? Always stopping and waiting. Then it goes again. Then it fasts. Then it stops. Then you're stuck behind the bus. Yeah, that's exactly how it goes. It's a tough name for sure. Tesla breaks to the upside. Now it doesn't look too bad either, right? Because the SPY and the Qs are starting to turn back to the downside here. We'll see what happens. I mean, this is how it goes, guys. Tesla usually tries to trap. That's the problem with Tesla. That's why you got to stay small, and then it starts to look a lot better. Google looking a lot better right now. Spotify even holding on. There's some pullback from the Qs and the SPY there. Now Tesla's starting to pull back off this 389 spot here. All right, I'm going to try it here with Tesla here, guys. I just shorted Tesla a little bit here, guys. We'll see if it really starts to make the move. I want to hold really tight on this first action here. Just risk about 50 bucks. Of course, I got about $100 in the green. So 50 bucks risk is not much here. Could easily stop me out there, and it's already trying to do that, right? So we'll see what happens here. Did do a quick little spike there. I'm going to hold towards the top end of that spike to see if it can hold on there. But, man, that was a close one there. Could get me out. It's about $61 now if it get hit up there. We'll see what happens. I only got 50 shares. Tried to keep it small here to see if it can go all the way back down. There's Tesla coming back into the green. Once I get up about 50 bucks, I'll be able to stop loss, break even. Let's see what happens now. Need to see the Qs turn also here, and they're not wanting to turn, so I could get another stop out in Tesla here. I'm actually tightening down here towards the 50 bucks here. 57 there. We'll see what happens. It's definitely just chomping around out there. We'll see if it takes a hard hit to the downside now. Tesla taking a little bit of some action there. There we go. Starting to leak towards the 389s here. Let's see if it goes to the VWAP here. 387s is next. All right, now I'm about $40 into the green. This is when I go break even here, guys, because it's either going to continue with the momentum or just cut me out. So at this point, I'm break even with Tesla. Won't lose on the position, but at least give myself the chance to make some money here, right? So I'm up about 20 bucks here. Could cut me out, and it just cuts me out right there. There's a reason why, because Tesla can easily rip right back. And I've done this too many times with Tesla to know that, hey, you either catch it on a quick momentum move or it wrecks you. So I like to play it really tight. And right there was smart because I could get back in it, right? That's the number one thing with Tesla that I always try to remind myself. I can always get back in with 50 shares. What I can't do is get runned over. Let's go take a look at the cues and wait here now instead of trade here. So I'm waiting here and looking for the move. JPM pulling back, but not enough for me to get in it. Unity looking pretty good. A lot of these kind of Bitcoin names doing well too. BTDR, really good day. All right, we'll see what else is out there. Got cut out of that QUBT, but it still looks interesting there. I think the market is just chopping around out here, trying to collect some buying and selling right now. We'll see what happens towards the 10:30. Shopify getting a lift, of course, and this was one of my top wins just recently. It is starting to catch a little bit there. Of course, Amazon caught a little bit to the upside today, so maybe Shop just playing a little catch up to Amazon action right now. We'll see if it holds on. PDD right back towards the VWAP here. It doesn't look too bad to maybe catch VWAP and work its way back to 98. PDD looking pretty decent here. Baba, we'll see if it gets back up there. But both of the Chinese names there, not looking too bad. We'll see if it can continue to push there. Meta with a big push today up to 603 from 590s. That's a nice push there on Meta. Market just continuing the push here, guys. I wouldn't be fighting too many moves here. The market just seems to be riding the 9 EMA and holding trends. TSM right on that 9 EMA. We'll see if it takes the next lift there in Apple. Let's see if it starts to really start to get back into the opening green. Nitto, what's up out there? Nitto up there to 74 cents. This was at 40 cents just a little while ago, guys. 100% almost already on that NITO. What a mover there. SPCB now starting to slow down around $9. This made an insane move here. So we'll see what happens there. SPCB now starting to break on the downside of things. This thing did do one halt on the upside, now starting to pull right back down. Super calm. VRAR, what's up out there? 283s. We'll look to see if this can keep pushing back. Where's Jorge? Mustafa? Looking for some loyal followers in the chat. Hope you guys are all doing great out there. Shout out to my man Steve. Shout out to all you guys out there. Keep pushing. Sound giving me alert. Sound hound. Getting back up there towards the $20 spot there. We'll see what happens on that. Now Tesla cutting down a little bit, but we'll see what happens there. Sound starting to rip, trying to get back through $20 is Sound here. I was thinking about shorting this name, but that's some hard action to the upside there. All right, looking around, APM now giving me a little bit of an alert there. It's back through 4. This is a daily mover that was on Tuesday all the way up to 749, trying to recover towards 5. Let's see if it really gets going. Might need to reload at 4 here. Let's see if it reloads here at 4. It's exactly what happened just a second ago. Went to 401, trying to reload off the $4 spot. HSAI getting a big lift here, guys. This is just ripping, guys. I don't know what's going on with this one. This one's definitely a breakout indeed. GRR now starting to get a little bit of a lift there. GRRR pushing up to 21, pushed off the VWAP there. So strong move there. Lunar, another one that's making a big push to the upside. So a lot of these smaller names really pushing today. Rigetti up also a good amount there. So Rigetti is an interesting one, going against some of the quantum names and starting to push here. IonQ still just kind of chomping around out there. We'll see what happens. QUBT taking the up move there. We'll see if it starts to really push. BitDeer back to 24 here. Could bounce off the 24s and recover here. Taking a look at CleanSpark, different names out there. Mara right back at the VWAP there. We'll see if that can catch a little bit of love. Pally getting a little bit of some move there. Is that on the halt? That's just on the slowdown. STI, just looking around to see if I can catch any move before it really kind of takes off here. What has happened? Nothing in the Qs, guys. That's why I'm not trading either. The Qs are just kind of staying choppy, and I'm looking for this to either continue to the upside or start to pull back and give me pullback opportunities. Right now, it seems like it's just momentum to the upside, just holding really quick pullbacks and continuing to go. So I'm looking to see what happens here. AMD starting to pull backs, trying to just hold and continue the rally. If I take a look at the sectors overall, right? I take a look at this all the time, guys. Let's take a look here. What's moving in the last 15 minutes and what's moving for the day, right? Well, for the day, leading is energy, technology, and healthcare. Now, in the last 15 minutes, what's leading there? You see healthcare, energy, and defensive. So very mixed signals there. Basic materials starting to get another push there. So gold looks interesting for me. AU looking interesting off this 24 there. Gold itself, GOLD, 1590s could roll right back to 16 and maybe make a little bit of a push there. AG also just continuing to grind up higher. So we're definitely seeing some basic materials get the lift there. Aluminum also getting a push today, guys. So it's not just some basic materials. It's mainly all of them, right? So CCJ getting a little bit of a push there. NNE, we'll look to see if that can get back up there, but we can look at some other uranium plays like URA getting a little bit of a lift, UEC getting a little bit of a lift. So all these kind of getting a nice little push there and something to watch out for. CCJ up good there, that's for sure. NXE, another one that's up big. CCJ back to the 52s, looks interesting below the 52s. Q's starting to give up a little bit there here. We'll look to see if we actually start to see some real downside come in there. IonQ looks like it wants to break a little bit here. So there you guys see IonQ start to break. We'll see if QUBT just follows it from the 17. And of course, you got different names, QMCO that could give up there off the 56 there. It doesn't look too bad to start giving up on this one. It's trying to hold the 9 EMA, but could start to let go here. It's going to be interesting. It's an interesting play right here. All right, liking this potentially for QMCO. The only problem with QMCO is the spread. The spread is wide. That puppy's wide. Look at Tesla now, guys, 383. So it wasn't a bad idea for me, guys. I just got cut out on that pop back to 390s, and it's back to 383. Lulu starting to give up some of its momentum. Remember, I talked about Macy's for a move down today to 1650s. It already did it. It already did it, guys. That was a nice 3% move. So now I'd look for little bounces to get shorted into. There's not much on this, but definitely seeing the downside come in on these names. KSS also down there. We'll see what happens with the XRT today. I feel like it's a short, but hey, we'll see what happens. There's some names that are up. Target getting a little bit of a bounce. Ulta is starting to turn down. Carvana getting a little bit of a juice there. So I know that Par was looking at Carvana. Let's see if Carvana can start moving. KMX up also, so good signs there. Carvana doesn't look too bad. It's a good like profit to loss ratio. The way that the stock's moving right now is beaten down though. What about CELH? Yeah, this actually looks pretty decent today. Yeah, I like this. I like the action on this. Celsius Holdings. All right, we'll see if this can come back to the support around the $27 spot there, but Celsius not looking too bad for a move back to 28. Q's coming back down, guys. It's back to 514, so could wash out some of all that positive. I'm looking for the pullbacks here and seeing how bad of a pullback do we get in some names. Alert on MS. Alert on MS. So we got the pullback that I needed there to start maybe playing some of the banks if I want to play them. All right, seeing that action there. MS coming back here. We'll see if it can recover the 127 now, and then that'll be looking really good there for MS. It's good to catch you guys in the chat. I see a lot of you guys tuning in on X. Do us a favor, take a second, hit that like on this, and of course, check us out daily. We're also on YouTube. If you want to be, active in the chat, I think that's the best active chat for you guys to be in. So check it out on YouTube. Of course, go live at 8:30. What's up out there, guys? You might have to just change the name to Money Turd. Well, get it, man. You get that money, that golden turd. I could say SLB looking good. Energy really strong. Michelle said, I bought the 80,000 package. Looked forward to trading on that platform. Yeah. One thing that I would tell you also, Michelle, is if you're brand new, you just got to our platform, also maybe check out one of the demo accounts so that you can maybe execute some trades just to get used to the platform, just so that you don't make a platform mistake. That's my number one thing for newer traders to really understand, is understand how the platform works first before you try to test yourself on pressured trades and then you get upset about the platform. That's not the way to do it. I just wish you the best of luck. I think, a lot of traders can handle moving from platform to platform, but I always want to put out some warnings out there to help those traders really master what's available to them. Morgan Stanley pulling back a little bit further. The Q's pulling back. I got to see it start to bounce. If not, the flush could be coming in here, and it's tough, right? Tesla now to 381. So definitely got cut out there on Tesla just a little bit early. It would have been a nice one shorting in there in the 389 spot. It was a good look. There. Just bounced there, got back towards the 390s, then flushed for real. Now down almost 10 points, guys. So 10 points on 50 shares. How would that have been, right? Think about that, right? That's not $1,000, but we're not looking too bad there. With about, like 500 on that. I wouldn't be mad about that, right? So great trade there on Tesla that I was trying to capture. Just didn't nail it. QUBT really getting heavy now, guys. So we're seeing more and more weakness come in here. Let's see if it really goes to weak. Ion Q starting to break, and I talk about how the leaders can tell us a lot here. The leader can tell us a lot. Now QMCO starting to break. I might go for QMCO, which is a little bit of a harder trade here, but I can hold off the 56, and when this one breaks, it could be a big breakdown. The only thing is you got to be careful for about like $1 or $2 pops. That's difficult to deal with. Lulu really got hit hard there. Nike got hit hard. A lot of stocks is struggling right now. RCAT faded off that 1230s. That looked like a fade there. Man, some tough action there now. A lot of downside coming in here. Starbucks up. No way. Maybe I bought too much coffee there. It's holding in right now. You think if I lose on Starbucks, I can go to them and get a refill? Go get a refill, man. All right, looking around to see what else is making the move right now. CGBS. CGBS around the 98 cents was above $1, was above $1 in the morning, trying to build on the 99 cent here. Let's see if it can make a move above the $1 spot to go back towards that 130s. Doesn't look too bad here on this limited company CGBS, but it's already had an insane run today. I mean, this thing, what a day. What a day. From 40 cents up there to 110. This could be done for the day too, right? It could just be done and not getting back above that $1 and then comes back down towards like 60 cents. LGHB trying to get the move there. There's not much on those. Sober pushing a little bit there. Sober. That's a beaten down name. FFIE, there's not much, man. GME going down right now. GM, right? I talked about how that could be a short opportunity with Tesla's numbers that came out. And GM definitely taking that fade today. It's been fading all day. Could fade off here and keep going down. Especially if we get more red action. All right, getting a little bounce there. The Q's bouncing a little bit there. TSM going to tell us a lot here. It's back to 202, but could make a little push back there towards 203. Really having a strong day. Could continue the strength there. Sorry if you guys see me a little tired, guys. It's been a long week. I'll say that. Of course, you guys know I've been dealing with a little bit of a house flood issue, and gonna keep dealing with it a little bit, guys. So I'll be bringing my energy and trying to keep it up. But if you see me yawn, don't get too mad at me. Just having very little sleep. Zscaler bouncing a little bit there. I'm looking into what's up today to see if there's any themes that I can see there standing out to me. So just looking into it here, guys. Booking up a decent amount. ZM, Zoom, Adobe up a good amount. PDD was up a good amount, right? That was China's name. It did get a little bounce there. It wasn't a major bounce, and so did Baba. But it's not like a run, right? It's just kind of like a slow building move there. Look to see if Baba makes the move to 85. That was one that made me some money a little bit earlier. XRT going into the red there. It's definitely seeing some downside, finally really leaking into some of these names. Look at Macy's now down 2.6%. We'll look to see if that can keep coming down. GameStop got hit also. Academy Sports, a lot of these retail names that were strong during, of course, Black Friday now being weak. Why? It's just because it's like a classic move here, guys. So seeing a classic move, and some of these Bath and Body Works down big. GameStop, Macy's, Signet Jewelers, ASO. So really seeing that downside come in. Victoria's Secret breaking strong to the downside. And this one had been really hot. So this doesn't look too bad to break the 41 and continue lower right now. It's really weak. It just dropped from 41.50 to like 41, but could break this 41 and just keep going down as it is leaking and leaking fast. Let's see if we can get a bounce in Victoria's Secret. Wouldn't mind shorting this in a little bit here if it could just bounce for a little bit and then starts to take the hit again. $41.30s around there. I'd look to maybe take another shot. Adobe, what are you going to do? The data dog. Google pulling back to the 190, 150. Q's right now hanging out. Almost 10:30 here, guys. Let's see if the strength can come back into the market, because right now on the hourly, it's looking weak. Apple dragging the market down and now heading back down towards the lows. AMD right on the low now, guys. We'll see if this gets scooped back up, but that's the tough part about AMD. It starts to come back, and then you think you got it. You get washed out a lot of the times. It's a tough trade for sure. Lamb Weston getting a little bit of a lift here. This doesn't look too bad there. 67.81s. Healthcare names really kind of leading the action. Energy also getting a big push today. SLB, the Slumberger. The Slumber J doing well, man. The Slumberger. Nice little catch on that 5-minute now, going back to the top end of that. CRIS, another one making a little bit of a move in the biotech. This one has room, right? I mean, it did do this crazy spike to 607. Let's see the volume that's coming in on this, though. Not too bad volume. It just broke 4, but the spread is a little wide there for me. That's why I don't like this CRIS as much. But you can see it's tightening down. Got LiDAR also making a little bit of a move off the 150. There's CRIS now on the offer at 406, but it just doesn't look as sexy to me because of the volume. VIX starting to take off. That's not a good sign for the Qs, as the Qs take another whopping hit to the downside here, and it could be another leak coming in right now. QUBT, I'm going to go back after it, of course. I got stopped out earlier. Let's see if I can grab it this time and nail it. All right, short there at the 1690 spot there. Let's see if it can hold towards the 1710s here. I went a little bit bigger here, guys, since I have some good profits in this account. I got about 200 in the green there, so took a little bit of a shot here. Let's see if it can hold 1710, 1712s, and then breaks down through the 1690s here on QUBT. Getting a little bounce already on QUBT as the market tries to come back a little bit on me here. Qs were fading down fast there. They bounced a little bit. I'm looking to see if we reject this 9 EMA. If not, this big volume could have been right here a buyer. So just pay attention to it, because there's a big volume bar, 360s here, 360,000. If it was a big short, then I'm looking good there, as you might test him, but you take the hit down. All right, so we'll see what happens here. AU is another way to maybe play some of the action there. The gold play, right? The silver play. Look at that. AU up there now, 24.27. GOLD up to $16 now. All right, let's see if this can break now. It's about to cut me out as QUBT, but if it comes down towards like 1670s right here, we're going to be looking really good. I'm just trying to hang in right now off kind of pretty much the 1710, 1713 area and see if it cracks the 1690s here. Lulu taking a dump there. So Lulu. Really hard hit on the downside now towards 379. That tells me that XRT is probably taking a wallop. QUBT trying to bounce here, trying to get back up. Can't do it just yet. How's IonQ doing? IonQ bouncing at the 4060 spot here. We'll see what happens with that one. Another down attempt coming in here now. Let's see if it really starts to leak here on QUBT. If not, I'll just go ahead and get out. I'm trying to hold on right here. With the Qs being a little bit weaker, that should give us it. And IonQ, I'm looking for the move down to 3970s here. QUBT starting to let go here. Now let's see if it can get into the green. I'm able to make another little cash trade here. BSEO cut that 41, went straight to the 4070s. So definitely that weakness came in there. All right, let's see. We'll look around here. TSM coming back there. AMD on the lows, but still hanging on there on AMD. That tells me a little bit to just take a look at AMD. If it can really start to make a move back above the 123s, it'll look good. But Micron back around VWAP also, so I'm looking at that. I'm just hanging on right there. Now I'm starting to get into the green here with QUBT. Now let's see if it can really start making a move here. All right, spreading out there now. I'm seeing a little bit of a mixed action there now. We'll see what happens. The Qs are just chopping around right around the level that they're at. That gives them a chance to buy it. So I'm just wondering if they get it back through the 513s. You can see the MACD trying to curl right back there. So we could just play a little bit of a 15-minute range back there towards 1516 there. Now I'm getting some pressure on that QUBT. I'm already going to set the stop here because got to be careful for a quick squeeze. Tesla rejecting 381s. We'll see if it gets back towards 382. Back towards my levels now. Looking to see if I could stay into the green now with QUBT and seeing if the Qs could just break the lows here. All right, since I'm right around my level here, guys, I feel like I should maybe reduce the risk here because keep getting little pops, little pops, little pops. No drops just yet. There you go. It's starting to come back right towards my entry here on the offer. There you go. Nice rejection of that 17 right there. That's a good rejection. Now let's see if we can get some real first flush to like 1650s. I'll look to take about 300 off there. All right, it's trying to recover that 17. Got to be careful there. Looks like it's starting to break, but we really need to start seeing it really collapse here. All right, what's going on out there, guys? How we doing? Carl! Good to see you out there, man. All right, let's see if this breaks now towards into the 80s. Looking a lot better, but still not seeing that real price action for the breakdown here. Now we're starting to get into the green here. Now I really want to tighten down on the risk because at this point we should have already broken down. Any move back, and I want to get out. There we go. Now going to the 83s, looking a little bit better. Let's cut the 80s and then really start to go towards the 70s. 80s coming right now. Now looking a lot better with my entry. You see the 80s give up here. If not, just going to get out. All right, looking like it wants to cut it there. Now it has the opportunity for the bounce here. Got to be careful for the quick bounce. Looking for that flush down, but it could get an instant bounce. All right, it showed me that bounce level. I just put break even stop to just give it a chance to come for the breakdown here. I'm in the green, so I either stay winning or I just stay in the green in profits here. That's what's important there. I can fight it, but it could easily come back to 1725s and then break down this move. So you can't be too picky sometimes. Let's see if it just rejects this 92 and comes right back down. Cut me out right there at the 90. Break even. You see it. I lost $2.50 there and was set up there to make like $100, $200. And if it goes to 1650, I set up there for 250 or 350. Desktop Metals pushing strong. So some smaller names really pushing out there. You got to find them, but there's some moving out there still. OSS, DM, CAN, Quantum Corp. Q's just hanging out, man. Hanging out. QUBT right back down, but not doing much. The real reason is the Q's kind of slowed down. The market just slowing down here, guys. At some point, it's going to speed up again, but we keep getting these moments where the market's just kind of trapping. CEG tells me watch out for those nuclear plays because that's getting a nice little move. That tells me uranium plays are interesting today. UEC, URA. We'll see what happens on those. CCJ. Not a bad one to look at here. I've liked to play CCJ in the past. We'll see if it turns, though. It needs a lot. AMD down the 121.20s there. Still seeing the weakness there. CTCX hanging out at the 88 cents. Now starting to come back down. This looks like it's starting to break down, but we'll see what happens on that one. That one's a real cheap name. All right, what's going on out there, Carl? Yeah, man, it's great. It's great to see you guys. All right, we'll hang in there, guys. We'll see if CTCX starts to make the move. Got out of there with just a little haircut there. Now QUBT starting to break a little bit further. The market starting to break a little bit down. We're into the 78s here. We could break a little further here, guys. I'm going to go for it here. And just when I say that, I see the Qs start picking right back up here. So it's tough, guys. It's tough. It's a little bit of back and forth. And when it's back and forth, quick money is usually what runs the show. Ion Q, though, below the VWAP tells me that I still have this opportunity to get a big short on QUBT. $69.70 showing up there, so would be cashing in already. Would be about 150. I still had that position, so that's okay though. Market just hanging on there off the 511s. We'll see what happens here, guys. Ion Q though starting to lose altitude. The spread is just widening out. See if the Qs get a bounce here now. Micron getting a little bit of a bounce there. TSM is one that I've been looking at. PDD back to 98. Baba finally did that 85 move, guys. It finally just reloaded there and went up there. eBay back to 62. Hughes is hanging on here, guys, by a thread. Micron leading some of my watch lists here. Nvidia very vital here. Looking to see if we get some kind of lift here from Nvidia. Not much going on out there, guys. We'll see if Nvidia starts to come back, but that's what I'm seeing out there. I'm seeing a lot of chop around the VWAPs right now, and Nvidia is one that I'm looking at, but all right, let's see what else is moving out there. ICG, I didn't even know this one was moving. Holy moly, 96%. What a move. All right, looking around out there to see what else is making a move on the day here. Buru. The smaller names are they just gave up. Little bounce coming into the market now. Meta back to 597. Will it just go right back to 605s? I mean, this is an interesting pattern for sure. 1, 2, 3, 4 times to cut down. Let's see if it starts to recover now. Doesn't look too bad for my main account here. Meta's a hard trade because it's a smaller name, right? Well, not a smaller name, a bigger name. That's what I meant to say. But that's the hardest part, is you got to be able to understand how can I deal with the size and the spread. All right, we'll see if it can start to make a little bit of a jump here. SEDG doing well today, and Serve. So Serve Robotics having a decent day there. Some solar stocks getting a little lift. Rigetti giving up a little bit. Quantum could give up a little bit. Man, it's just back and forth. And that QUBT, I had a pretty good position there on the cutout there. But it's just a small little leak down. Leak. Q's still leaking here. Could break down and go for another leg. But right on the support there on the 15-minute. That's what I'm watching. Are we going to break the 15-minute support, or are we going to hold it? Not doing much right now. QUBT now to 1660. So almost to where I wanted to take profit. So wasn't a bad trade. Just not getting enough. Taking a look to see if there's anything else I can catch here. APM at $4 going sideways there, but there's not much out there, guys. At least that I'm seeing. All right, guys, what are you guys seeing out there? Great show to kick off the year. The Super Calm. Oh, man, Super Calm. That thing was up big. Now all the way back down. It's good to see it, man. Definitely swing trade and day trade. Those are the bait. That's what you got to do. You got to try to find a way to play the swings and to play the day trading action. I like the swing action. I think we need to work on that this year. We're going to work on that, guys. Swing is normally where I get my bread and butter trades, guys. Really nice setup here on this ENVX, guys. This might be a little bit of a scalp type of trade here for me. Don't do these often, but up 1, down 1, up 2, down 2, up 3. Could be setting up here for another little break to the upside. But ENVX, strong move today. Looking around, man, I'm not seeing much, guys. It's a lot of these smaller names moving, but it's very small movement. Q's catching the bounce there, guys. Catching the bounce is the Q's. So now those names could start getting another lift there. Looking for names at the VWAP to try to catch here. All right, Dollar Tree, one of those names that I could catch here on the bigger account. All right, guys, going long on Dollar Tree here. We'll see if it can start to get the lift. I'm really looking at this 77 as an add area, but it could come back to this 76, 70s first. Looking for it to hold 77, make a move to 78 here. That's pretty much the outlook, about 25-cent risk here for about 75 cents and a little bit more if it gets to the high. We'll see if it can get back up there. That's 78.35. Took 300 shares, though. So pretty good amount there. We'll see if it starts to make the push. Micron was another one that I was thinking of, but that's already spiked a little bit there. ARM is another one that doesn't look too bad. Nice little spike on the 27. Moderna was one that I mentioned before the open. And then Meta, right? We were just on that setup there. 596, now towards almost 600. Could go to 606. SPY and Q bouncing a little bit here. Now Dollar Tree into the green here. So that's looking good here. Now I just really wanted to take off a little bit. Quick little takeoff here. Q's and SPY coming back. That's going to help here. All right, now up in the green and Dollar Tree here. In a second, I'll be leaving it break even as I look to see if this could really make the breakout, but it's starting to make the move. We're looking good here. Up 36 here. Of course, I got 87 secured profits on the day on this account. Looking to make some more trades, but not seeing much out there in the world of the penny caps. ERNA, another one, just started to lift there off the 37s. But I need to see the volume to see if you want to take a look at this. It did get some decent volume. All right, let's go take a look here. All right, guys, that's looking good there on this one. Now I'm up about $50 on here, so I'm gonna go ahead and leave it break even. I'm already break even on this name. Just looking for it to continue to run there. If it comes back and gets me on Dollar Tree, let it come back and get me. I'm up about 20 cents already. I'm letting it try to ride. Going to the penny account there as I want to take some trades on that before we get out of here. It's 10:52. I'm about to wrap up, but I don't mind taking one more trade here. SPCB is the one that I like to set up here. It's definitely set up for the break. Now can it get it? It's at 864. Needs to go back up towards the highs, but it's been sideways here. All right, guys, just jumped on it there. 870s now, starting to get the lift a little bit there. We'll look to see what happens. I'm going to keep tight on this. So if I need to cut out, I can cut out there. Going to risk about $30 here and then look for the real lift off through 9 here. It's already up there towards 890. So looking good on this one. Of course, this is a smaller challenge here. So this is the small limited. I got SPCB now starting to lift off into the 8s. Now we're going almost $100 here. So in a second, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and put break even there. Just look to see if this can run above the 9s now and really take off here. Towards the high end of the range, it could already be like a $200 trade to 980s here. So let's see if it can go ahead and really start rocking and rolling. If it comes back and gets me, that's fine too. That's where I've been trying to do more and more of. Like, it's okay if it gets me, as long as I'm securing green on the screen. All right, now we're going towards 9. This is a big watch here on the 15 minutes. Could go right back towards this 975 and 1022, of course. Big stock, Small cap really getting going here. Let's go. This came out of a down hole too around the 835. So there's no guarantee, but I'm in the green and looking for a little bit of a run there. Just got cut out there on the pullback there. So got cut out there at the 865s. Yeah, 865s there. Looking to get back in it here, guys. 890s. No, doesn't look too bad here, but really needs to get going above the 9s. Cut me right out at the bottom of that pullback there. Seeing QUBT start to get the spike. Tesla start getting the spike. The market's coming back on us here. Now let's see if this can get the move. It's not really spiking here, so I might just leave it alone. Yeah, it's not really getting the love I need to see there. The supercomputers. It's holding in now. Now looks pretty decent here for the 9 break. Just not getting the volume it needs there. Now it just got a nice little buy there. All right, 1055. Let's see if I take the shot one last time here. Looks pretty decent there, but just not getting the volume. It's not just piling in there. Could be a short now if it just keeps trying and doesn't go. A lot of times these stocks, they don't let you in when they want. When they want to let you in, they're going to let you in. So usually it's a quick move. When it takes too long, a lot of times to me, that starts acting like a short. Yeah, it looks like a short now. I'm just looking to try to get short on this thing around the 880s. See if I can get short on this thing. Little bounce here. Looks pretty weak there. All right, 1056. I'm going to go look at the other trade here, but I will take at least a little bit here. I like this trade here. Trying to get filled up towards the offer there. 858. Trying to be patient with my entry here. Patience, young grasshopper. All right, we'll see what happens. This is hanging in there still, so I'm giving it some time here. All right, I'm going to go look at my other trade because I'm just getting antsy. I got to go look at it. Oh, got cut out on Dollar Tree there on that pullback there. It looked like it was going to go there. It got up there to 77.50s. Was up a decent amount. I mean, it was up 25 cents with 300 shares. It wasn't a lot, but staying in the green today, $86 in the main account. I'm just going to take that and run. Not really seeing the trends out there, so I'll leave that to be. I'll look at the penny stock game one more time, but it just seems like we're not getting the continuation moves there. IVP getting a little bit of a spike there. This is veterinary practice. It's in the 20-cent name there. Definitely got a big spike there. We'll look to see if it can continue to move. And then, of course, what was the name? SPCB. SPCB. We're at 1070s, 1080s now, 1089. I'm going to go ahead and go for a short here, guys. I'm going for a 100 share short. Nothing crazy here, but going to give it a shot here to see if it can hold 9s and not spike above 9s. I'll risk about $47 here. We'll risk 48 here of the 181 that we have here. If it starts to spike, 920s would get me out. 920s are all the way up here by the trend line. We'll see if it does go up there. If not, a breakdown below the 830s could get me to add and go for a bigger win. And there's the spike to cut me out back through the 9s as SPCB does get up there and cuts me out for a quick trade. All right, we'll see if it cuts back down towards the 880s here now that it did that spike. I don't mind taking one more, but hey, I might just take the 132, end in the green today versus trying to keep fighting the action. Seems like I'm back and forth on the action today, and it's just not enough on the SPY and the Qs on a trend basis to keep playing this. If anything, I see weakness still there, but look at QUBT right back up here, guys. So that's going to do it for me at least today, guys. Still ending in the green, 132. And in the green, 86. Nothing crazy, but secured the cash is why I am green today, guys. So like always, we need to always think about what is it that I want to improve this year, and what is it that I want to go ahead and get rid of that weakness, right? So like I mentioned at the beginning of the show, start a trading journal. Start catching on what you're doing well, what you're not doing well. Did you see the market great today? And tell yourself that the next day, right? Because it's important to understand what it is that you're going into your own patterns. Catch your own pattern mistakes so that you can make improvements on your process. I wish you guys the best New Year's, guys. And this is the new year to do what? To find our way to success. I'm doing it the same way, guys. I can tell you guys right now, I've been going at this game for a long time. And this is the year where I'm really looking to step up to that next level and not only make money, but thrive in this environment. And I'll do it right here in front of you guys. Looking forward to seeing you guys back. Of course, I won't be back tomorrow as it's Friday, but look for me to come back on Monday. And we just might have a special surprise for you guys on Monday. So stick around, guys. Like always, right here, TTP Live, baby.